Hello and welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today I'm going to work on these two pieces of stromatolite. I made a video on the cutting. I uploaded it yesterday, and then I've got footage to do a couple of the Vernon Wonderstone. But anyway, I'm going to work on these today, see what I can make out of these. It's just a part of the heel. I went on ahead and sliced it up. It was just the way I cut it was to get it was a bigger stone. In case you missed the cutting video, just in case. It had quite a few. I don't think I can get it back together the way I took it apart, but I got two bigger slabs out of it also. And I'm going to have to do those, but there's some fractures in there that I didn't see when I first cut it, but it doesn't matter. I think they're healed. I tried breaking them off and I can't break them off any. This is the heel part. And it was that pattern right there that I wanted to begin with. This one I may make a sample out of and just flat lap this side. I don't know. This one's got the least amount of fractures in it, I do believe, compared to the other two, but this was the full slab where it's both sides taken off. And that's the way I wanted to cut it, just because it had a lot more pattern to it. And this little bit of red up here kind of helped too. But I'm going to work on these two smaller ones. There's also a couple other smaller pieces because I took this and but this was the leftover, and so I just because it was too odd shaped, I just went on ahead and slabbed it this way rather than the other way, thinking I could make rounder cabs. So I'll just work on these, and we'll get started here. Start out on the 80 grit because this is pretty hard stuff. It's got very few, I can't see any. Yeah, there's very few kerf marks, and they're usually around the edges of where the cut started. Very few saw marks, in other words. That's what kerf marks are, is left from your saw. I think kerf marks may be where your saw, when it gets too hot when you're cutting, if you're not cooling the blade enough, and it gets hot, it'll crack the agate or whatever, it'll crack the rock on the surfaces. That may be kerf marks, I don't know, I'm not sure. I know that's one of the terms I've heard, and I'm assuming that it meant saw marks left from the blade itself. And I'm just going to do these freeform. I don't know what shape they're going to turn out to be. I'm just going to try to make them pleasant looking and take off the ugly. That's what I call it. It's going to be one of those deals where it's just going to make the stone look good and get a good shape out of it. Usually the shape of the rock makes the difference on what size it's going to be and all that without being a preform. I like the preform cabs, but some of them I could probably get circles out of this, but I don't know that it'd be worth much to deal with. It's I'd say it's not a very vibrant color to attract most people. I think it'd be more for fossil collectors, that type of stuff. People that like fossils because it's a fossil. Stromatolite's basically the primordial ooze. It's one of the first, related to one of the first. Wow, that's hard. One of the first forms of life on the planet, so it's older than any other form of life. Now, as these in particular may not be, because it forms in layers on the ocean floor, and then as more gets on top of it, it gets compacted. That's when it gets harder and harder and gets fossilized. But it's old. It's definitely old stuff. I don't know how good this is going to turn out, but I'm going to give it a shot. Maybe just face the other ones, or just depending on what this comes out at. These bigger ones, I may just kind of round off the edges, polish the faces like they are, or just leave the outside edges the way they are and just polish the faces. I don't know yet. Don't know if they're going to make jewelry out of any of that, or out of any of this actually. I'm wanting to, at least these. Those might be big for a necklace, and cutting them down may not be that feasible either with the fractures that's in them. I banged them on the table a minute ago and all that, trying to see if the fractures would break. If they're going to break that easy, I don't want to try to grind them on here. Because it'd be bad if I got halfway through the stone and all of a sudden one of them fractures let go. Oh, that corner is just definitely too pointy. Same with the other corner. Knock some of that off. Boy, this is as hard as agate. That's why I prefer to get a wider, an 8-inch with wider stones. I was looking on the internet, well, I shouldn't say looking on the internet, I had a catalog from Kingsley North. They showed 8-inch cabbing wheels that were wider on some of their machines. They looked wider. Maybe it was just the machine. Maybe the machine was so much smaller that it made it look wider, but it looked wider than 1.5 inches. This is 1.5 inches on the 6-inch. And the only ones I could buy new were 8-inch, on the 8-inch, were 8-inch at 1.5 inches wide. And I want wider ones so that I could do bigger stones without getting that close to the edges. Because even on the softer wheels, it makes a difference on staying away from that edge. It's not as much. These two will definitely cut a deeper gouge quicker than the other ones, but the other ones will still cut a little bit of a gouge in there, and it's harder to get out with the wheel. You have to drop back a wheel when you do get a gouge on the softer wheels, because you're not going to cut off much at a time with the softer wheels. The grit, or I should say the polishing wheels, not softer. They are softer, but they're soft so to keep from getting flat spots. Helps you round stuff off, because as you push into that soft rubber, it'll form around the rock kind of like this rather than just being straight. probably will put it to hang from this side, because I don't think hanging that away is going to be very good. And I'm hoping maybe I can round this off and kind of make it a teardrop. I might have to, because there's a fracture. Well, that may not be a fracture. Well, if it is a fracture, it's a healed fracture. See it coming through there. You can see the limonite staining in it. And there's another one that comes across this way. But don't neither one of them go all the way across to this side. Well, this one does. Yeah, maybe that other one does too. Maybe it just changes shape. I don't know, but we'll see. I thought about making an oval cab out of these, but and I still might out of one of the other ones. One of the other big thick pieces. That's the one I'd like to get, but it's got a bunch of fractures. That side rounded yet. Slid off to the side, got a taste for that edge. And I'll probably take a lot of that off anyway. And I didn't have that completely rounded off yet anyhow. I don't have as much control with my right hand anymore as I used to, because I can't stick that middle finger in there to try to help hold stuff, because it's shorter. It won't reach. That's good. Still getting used to that. So far it hadn't affected it much, or it hadn't affected me much, other than getting used to what I can't do with it. I knew there was going to be some things that I couldn't do with it. My Uncle Joe had his index finger cut off back a little ways, and his fingernail hooked down and around. He used to try to scare us with it. Called it the claw. I want to get this down thin enough too that it'll let light through. It's not really letting much through now, but these other ones let quite a bit through. In some spots. Now where this darker area is, where there's not so much layers. Stop pointing the flashlight at the camera, dummy. I'm trying to get my edges, this one and this one, rounded down a little bit more so that I can turn it sideways across there without hitting one side or the other. If it's domed like this, I can go in the middle like this on the stone, and it'll keep it from gouging on me. Plus it'll help me round it a little faster too. Pick up taller there than it does from here over, so I think that'll help me get this bug out a little faster because it's still pretty good size. That way I can put it across this way, because if I knock that down where it's not at the same angle or same parallel with that, then I can do that without catching the edge of the stone on the edge of the wheel. Plus I'm having a hard time getting that round without being able to, that whole side round without being able to, or without taking some of that parallel out of it, a straight line out of it. I need to come up at least to the bug in order to get that all down where I can start getting off the bug. One good thing about it, if I do hit the edge, I'm going to make sure it's this edge. If I do hit the edge of the wheel, I'm going to make sure it's this edge where I can take it off by rounding that a little more. Well, I've got half of that bug out of there already. Black spot in that little bug there too. I want to get out. I don't think it's a bug, but yeah, it is a bug. But I want it out of there either way, so it doesn't really matter as long as it comes out. almost. Oh, good. It's lightening up that whole inclusion. It's like an eye-shaped inclusion with a black dot on one end of it. But it was a darker, dirtier brown than the rest of the rock. So get that out of there. That'll brighten the colors a little bit more. More of that dirty looking stuff out of that end too. Maybe not, but I'll give it a shot. I don't think I need to worry about it that much, but it's going to be on the bottom where the stone hangs anyway, so. See how flat my flat spots are in the middle of this. If I can see them. Nope. Now I can. Had too much water on it before. Okay, still got quite a bit on that side. got a flat spot on there. Okay, ain't got much of a flat curve in that. Get some more of that off. Where them fractures were all at. Right here on this point. There's some dirty, or some cracks coming out, or chips coming off the edges of the fracture. If I can get them to stop. Stop being chipped. Don't mind the line, don't want the chips in the line. Ah. Good. Hit the edge of the wheel when I was taking it off there. Still got bugs there. Still got chips there. I think that was from running it the opposite direction. I may have to switch wheels here. I think no more than I've got to take off, I can do that without it costing me more time in the long run. But I have to get this chip or this bug out first. How I've almost cut it to where it's down even on this side where it's a straight line again. Around some more on this bottom corner. Tough bugger. Wish it was pretty deep. I couldn't say tough, it's just being stubborn, not wanting to come out. As quick as I want it to, let's put it that way. Maybe I'm the stubborn bugger. Chip than I got there now. Still got chip there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the 220. That way I can stop the chips. Well, I'm going to stop it here for a minute. I have to go take a short little break. My shoulder's hurting for some reason here on the... I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's get back at it here. Back on the 220. Until I've been hitting my knuckles. A little skin on them coming off. That's helping that chip already, or fracture. And it actually is a chip. Looks like it would be a chip if I come off very much longer on it. So I think the fracture goes up. I think the fracture goes up along this line here, and then comes down around here and back. So that part there is just like a little flake that's just waiting to come off that corner of it. But I think I've already gotten that off already with this one. It took the chip out of it anyhow. Let's keep working on it. I don't want anything coming off of it after I get it polished. That'd be bad. Okay, let's dry this off. I think I got the shape I want. I think it's now time to get the, let's see how many scratches I got real quick. See if I can see them. They should show up when it's dry. Okay. Yep, I think I'm ready to start polishing it. I may have to try to stabilize this. I'm going to have to get some CA glue that's real thin and got a small little spout to put it out with. So right in here, right in there between my fingers, you can see that there's a A little darker chip just there above my fingernail, and it only goes up to that line there. And the fracture that's on it, on the bottom down here, doesn't go all the way over to this side of it. So I think I can keep it on there. That at the edge of it, at that flat spot on the edge of it, is where it was making it look like it was, or where the chip was at, where it was chipping off at. But I think that's CA glue. I put the CA glue on it after I get it polished, and then run it through the polish again to get the CA glue off the outside edge of the stone. It'll stay down in that fracture. It might change that fracture where it's not showing as much. Because if you can tell when you wet it down, or as you can see when you wet it down, it doesn't show up as bad as when it's dry. Because you can see that clearer or whiter stuff at the edges of it. Although even though this part down here is a little bit more lighter than this up here, I think that might not show as much if you couldn't see that line as stark as it is. You'll still be able to see it because it'll be looking just like this one over here. That dark line right there, that's not actually a fracture. Well, it is a fracture, but it's healed there. And that makes it where it doesn't show up quite as bad. Actually, that's not the same fracture, because this fracture here comes around and down the side and then cuts back this way and comes over and down. Let's see if it shows up better on this one. Okay, I'm going to go to the 280 grit, get my scratches off, and any flat spots. I don't have too many of those except for the one I made up here, and I did that on purpose. And I do believe I still have some wire left. As to whether any of my super glue is any good anymore. I've got super glue. I think I got one that's unopened. It should be still good. I don't know. I know that for some reason super glue will dry up on you in the bottle even when it's not open. Let's see what we got. I bet we got a little bit of a shine already. It feels like it anyway. A little bit, but not enough. I still got a ways to go yet. All the white spots on there. I didn't show you those either. I should have. See the difference between the light and the dull. Once I get all the the dull spots are usually a little bit lighter, most of them, but not all. You can tell I ain't quite got it all down good enough yet with this one. No ways to go yet. I hope that chip doesn't come off. It doesn't go all the way around. It stops right there. Right there. So it just goes around and stops. So it's still got all of this in between here and here. Of course, that may be coming up this way. hoping that the dull spots don't stay dull after I get done, or cut out faster and turn out to be pit type things. Scratches. They probably came from getting it too close to the edge corners of this wheel, because it looks like bigger than 220 grit scratches to me. It may be some that I missed too, just because I couldn't see them when it was dry. Oh yeah, they were from this, because they came right off. Careful of that dark spot much. It's also dull. Almost looks like it's a pocket of sand or crystallized smoky quartz, one of the two. Some of the darkness is coming out of it. Pits. A little better. That might be. I'm going to give it a shot going to the next wheel, see if I can get it looking better. I should be able to. I think the only reason why I got the dull spots is because because the bigger grit's taken off more than in the dull spots, because they're softer than they are on the light spots because they're harder. I don't know. We'll find out. Another big dull spot made me think made it look like it had scratches in it too, because of the fibers from what looked like fibers from the stromatolite. Seems to be shinier, more shiny in the spot where I was trying to get that bug out of there. Okay, go to the next wheel. Stop fighting with it. You might end up being correct, and it'll come out on this wheel fairly easy. We'll find out. Feel the heat coming off my machine. Not hot yet, but it's warm. I think it's only supposed to get to 60 something today. It won't be long. Might not be able to record too much with my heater on, but I can always warm it up in here and shut it off long enough to work for a little while, and then take a break and warm it up again. Because the machines make enough noise, but that heater is even worse. the air conditioner and heater at the same time. Portable also, so it's on wheels. Getting a little shinier, but it's still got all the dull spots. Stop wadding that up. It'll fall off your lap. Still got quite a bit of dull on it. And I don't know about taking this to the flat lap, to the mod side either. Okay, I'm back. Let's go ahead and finish this up on this last wheel, I hope, and see what we got. Oh, yeah, it's 61 out there, so I had to turn the heater on. Yeah, I forgot I got out a piece of... What the heck did I do with it? Oh. I had another piece of stromatolite that I polished. I didn't know it was stromatolite. It took me a while to figure it out, but I did figure it out before and it's filled in by quartz too. A lot of quartz. It's more quartz than this one. I think this one's got some jasper in it maybe. But I polished that with one of the first ones that I polished. I shouldn't say one of the first ones. That's the first stromatolite I polished. At the time, I wasn't sure it was stromatolite. I thought it was something else, like steelbite or one of those that looks like that comes out in little tube type filaments, just about like this. Prenite was the other one. I was pretty sure prenite was darker colored, but that may not be true because it depends on what it's replaced by, depending on where it's at, where it forms as to what it's replaced by. You got to have the minerals around to replace it, and they're not always the same. Everywhere, so I didn't shut off my darn microphone that time either, but make sure it's still. I should have looked when I turned the camera on a minute ago to find out how much charge it had left in it. I think I'm close enough to my GoPro that I'll be able to hear the GoPro. I looked at the footage. Well, when I did the cutting video footage, it was way too loud because it was a saw. But I think I looked at the first Vernon Wonderstone slab that I did. I think I looked at that footage when I put it on the computer. When I uploaded it to the computer off the camera. And I think I was still able to hear on it. That's what I was worried about because I've only got this one microphone, and I know my DJI is further away, and with the extra background noise, it's not going to be able to hear as good as one that's on my person. Flat spot I thought I had on there is not flat. It's actually got 3 different angles to it. And actually, I probably need it to stay rough. I think I'll just wait on that. Because I'll put it on the flat lap to make sure it's completely flat. Because these, you can still have a curve even in just right here in the center. There's still going to be a little bit of a curve on the top and the bottom. I need it to be flat so it doesn't scoop my drill bit around when I'm trying to drill it. See what I got. Let's see what I got. Fingerprints is what I had. Oh, that's looking a lot better. It's not quite ready yet. I'm going to need to do a little bit more on this side where that bug was at that I was getting that black spot, that black grain of sand out of, or whatever it was. It may not have been sand, but it was a black spot. A lot of sticks in the center of that one there where that bug was at. If I can't get some more of those out of there. Of course, that may be those crystals that are winking back at me. They don't look like it, but that may be because, yeah, that was just because I had the, yeah, it's coming out. May have been the direction I was running it too. I was running the same direction the fibers were going. And that may have been a mistake. So it was stripping the softer stuff out faster than the harder stuff, and leaving it dull in the softer stuff. So going this way, at least it's going over the harder stuff, so it brings it all down to the same level. I'm assuming, because it seems to be working. So I think that's what it was, or why it was like that. Seems like I just got it messed up again. Let's go at a 45. I think I screwed up when I went up on I went around to the edge of the wheel. That extra grit made it duller again. Either that or it's the angle that I'm holding it. One angle looked good and the other angle didn't, maybe. Quite a bit on this one too. Dull stuff. And I think it's in quartz crystals. At least they're not busting out. And scratching. Of course I shouldn't have said that. Now I've jinxed myself. I'm probably going to start doing it. That's probably what some of the scratches that looked like they were going long ways with the fibers, or with the layers. Staying dull. Maybe from the pits, may not be. But I think I'm going to call it. And I don't think my see, when I was talking earlier about the fractures and how they looked white on the edges, they don't look as white anymore as they did. But you can still see the dull stuff in there in between on the darker sections. You can see the pits in it, but that fracture's not showing the white like it was earlier. I knew it wouldn't show up quite as bad, but And that's actually polishing pretty good over top of that fracture. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it good here and take it over to the aluminum oxide. Because even with this spray bottle's got a higher capacity pump in it, and maybe I can use that instead of my although I do still have water in my textile gun. I think it'll take that aluminum oxide out of any of the pits. At least any of the ones that's going to show white anyway. Some of them are showing white now just because it's that quartz in them. And it's more of a sparkle type white than anything else. Okay, let me go ahead and shut this off for a second. Or shut this camera off, or these cameras off for a second so I can reposition them, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna just keep a hold of it. That's going to be my problem because it's slipperier now than than it was when I started. Well, it seems that because my fingers are dry. My fingers would again, that'll make it easier to hold on to. Put my bottle over there on my clamp for my water feed. I'll put a bottle up against it to keep the rod that you tighten it down with from rattling. It's like a bench vise. It's got a rod that'll go side to side through a hole on the end of a shaft so that you can move it from one side to the other, like if it's turned up this way and you got table below it, you got to bring it over and bring it to the side and then bring it back up again. I may have to recharge this. I don't know how long it's been since I last put some aluminum oxide on there, but Still working, so I must still have enough on there. It's not changing the dull spots out as much as I thought I was hoping it would, but I may just not have worked it on there long enough yet. And they may not ever come out of there, the dull spots. Just maybe sometimes they look cloudy, and it's because the agate or the mineral, whatever it is that's solidified, the silicate, is cloudy. So that'll make it look like it's dull too. Dry there in the center. I keep forgetting about that. I need to figure out a way to stop that. I'm wondering if maybe I put something here. Stop that cloud from getting, it's basically what it's doing, spinning up like this of mist. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. I'm going to go back this way because I think I've changed I think I've got a little bit of quartz breaking out on me. Or I've got some quartz on this pad, one or two. Seems like I ended up with some scratches, lengthwise scratches. Coming down this way in the soft. And it's probably, like I said before, the layers of the stromatolite. That's the way they're flowing. When I was doing that stromatolite on here, or not the stromatolite, when I was doing that Vernon Wonderstone on here the other day, my drain had gotten clogged up with dust, and I tried spraying it with this to get it out on stream, because it'll throw a good sized stream out, or a pretty forceful stream out, but it didn't unclog that hole. But luckily I still had enough pressure in the hose that I used to fill up my buckets or fill up my trash cans, and water bottles, because I keep 14, I think, or 15 gallon jugs from windshield washer fluid that I use in the wintertime because I can't use the hose. Instead, I would just take them in the house and fill them up and carry them out. I can do 3 or 4 at a time. And fill up 3 or 4 at a time. And had some pressure left in that hose, even though I disconnected the outside hose. I shut it off at where it comes into through the wall at. Got a little turn off switch on that, or a little turn off knob on that, and I turned that off before I took the hose out on the outside, and it was so it was still had pressure, still under pressure on that inside hose, and when I brought it over and stuck the nozzle down there, I did that until it let all the pressure off, and then all of a sudden it started. After I took it off there, it started sucking that water down real good. Okay. By George. I would say whoever gets this will probably make this the back side. I looked at it. Stop looking over your glasses, dummy. So I still got some dull spots in the middle of the layers. I think that's going to be the back side more than likely, because this side, even though it's got that vug, and you can see that right there, that darker little vug right there is what I was talking about. You can see the dullness on it there, but it's where the crystals are. It's a crystal pocket, and it's just a dirty crystal pocket. But this side doesn't have, this fracture's healed. I don't know that it's not part of this fracture, but it is part of this fracture. And that fracture's healed also, because you can't see it in the reflection on there. You can't see the crack. Whereas with this one, you can see this crack running down through here. You see the smaller crack running up through here. You can still see the crack in it. I hope that's coming through on the camera. Let me put it up here and try this. Now I got the upper lights to reflect it on, and it's magnified a little more. But that's it for that one, and I'll take it while I've got it here. Before I forget, hey, it would help if I had some light. Now I got my flat spot. And it don't need to be real rough, but it don't need to be shiny either. The shinier it is, the more it's slippery it is. And this being this, that's still got it still doesn't have much of a shine on there, but it's a little bit. But it's enough of a unshiny that it's not going to let my drill bit skip, because it's a circular boring saw drill bit anyway, so it cuts a round circle like a doorknob, or like a door saw, or yeah, doorknob saw, hole saw. That's what it is. It's a hole saw. I may tomorrow, before I do the other one, I may show you how I make the holes in the tops of these, and may even go ahead, if I've got enough wire left, put a bail in it. That might not take too long, even though I still don't have the equipment for doing that. I can still shape I've got a piece of wire about that long left over, flat half round wire. And I can just take one piece of the bit thicker wire and make the eye and drop it down, and then twist the bottom, and then wrap it with another wire after I get it in there, or before I put it in there, or after I get it in there, just to hold it together a little better and to make it look better. Those fractures sure showed up quite a bit. I don't know what the deal is with this. I don't know, it's just me. I've got it set on super photo, got the auto on where it's supposed to be the best automatic settings for light and all that. But yeah, it's a nice stone. I kind of like this stuff. I just wished I could figure out a way to make these into a decent cab. I guess I could make preformed cabs out of it, draw a stencil on there, and that type of stuff. I don't want to lose this, but I could turn that, and that'll make up for the fact that it's wider or thicker on the other end. This is the thin end, this is the thick end. That's where my depth perception comes in bad with that astigmatism in my right eye, because I can't make a straight line on the saw. Don't help that it was hard to keep a hold of that rock too to begin with. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, that's the video. I just did this a second ago, but somehow I lost it. It's just the weird numbering on this camera. I didn't quite finish the outro on the video that I just edited for this Stromatolite cab that I made. And I promised you I told you I was going to show you how I put the bail on the top, drill the hole and make the bail on the top before I do the next one. I've got another piece of stone just about the same size that I should be able to get the same size pendant out of, or same size cab out of, and the same shape. So maybe I can sell them together as sisters for necklaces. So what I'm going to do is wait and do them both at the same time. Once I get the other one finished, I'll do a video on doing the other one, and then I'll make a separate video for putting the eyes in them with silver wire and all that. But I messed up a little bit on the. It took me 2 days just to edit this video. The first day I found out my GoPro camera. I don't have an extra mic for my GoPro camera. There's nowhere to plug one in. I don't even know if you can get one for it. I haven't checked yet. But I've got a mic, external mic for my DJI, and I was using it because of all the background noise. It's kind of hard to hear, and I found out with the GoPro that you can't hear any much of what I'm saying. I even had my TV turned up to 45 and still couldn't hear what I was saying over the steel wheels. And during that video too, I've got a tear in my. And that may be where my scratches are coming from. I've got a big old, looks like it. I don't know if it's a tear, it's a scratch. Let's call it a couple of scratches. That one might not be any much good anymore. But this one looks like it's wearing out too. But anyway, okay, that's the video. This is my third attempt for an outro. I'll go ahead and do. I promised that I would do a video on putting the bail on the tops of this. On the top of this, what I'm going to do is wait till I've got the other one done, because I think I should be able to get about the same shape out of the two cabs, and then I'll do a separate video on putting the eye in the two of them. But I found out when I was editing the video that I didn't change my focus on the camera, on my DJI camera that was zoomed in on these wheels down here so you can see what I was doing on the wheels. I didn't change the focus when I was doing these two wheels. I took a break in between the 1200, that was the 600 grit and the 1200 grit. Took a break between the 1200 and the 3000 grit, and when I came back, that's when I noticed it, or I shouldn't say I noticed it, because every time I shut that camera off or stop recording, every time I shut it off or stop recording to take a break, it shuts itself off, either or. I'll have to re-zoom it and re-adjust it each time, because it doesn't always go to the same spot. So I've got the footage on these two wheels. I've pretty much sped up all of it on both of these two wheels, instead of trying to get anything in there, because you couldn't see what I was doing with my hands because it was focused over here on the first three wheels. So you couldn't see. You could see a little bit of what I was doing on this one, but you couldn't really see the stone in the wheel on the second, when I went on to the 600 grit. But it changed after that. But I also found out that my microphone on this GoPro was way too drowned out. My voice was drowned out by the background noise of the machine, and especially these first two wheels, because they're a lot louder. They've got a ringing noise to them. But I did insert that footage in wherever I took the rock and showed this camera here. I tried to put that footage in wherever I could, except for on these two wheels, because I was having a hard time finding it. It numbers them weird. It numbers them in numbers sequentially, except for it's a 5-digit number, and it usually starts with a 1 or a 2 or a 3. And then there was it's only got two numbers at the end, so it's 100 and then two more numbers. It started out 168, 169, or 10068, 10069, 10070. But in between the 10068 and the 10069, it actually recorded 20068 after, and 20069 after, and 20070 after the 70. And I'm not sure, but I think I may be wasting my time here, because well, no, I'm not. I know I'm not, because it's I think the one that I just did before this, the outro that I just did before this, was 10072, but I cannot find it on my computer after downloading it to the file that I've got this footage in. uh, I erased the memory card out of the camera. Well, when I went to that file, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it, and I thought I had switched it over into my editing program afterwards too, but it was 10071 instead of 10072, and I can't find 10072 in there anywhere on any of the files close to it because I just drag and dropped over to the other side and into this file, and so I lost it, so I had to do another one. So bear with me on that. Thanks for putting up with my getting used to this editing program. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do another video after. I'll go ahead and record a separate video working this cab, cutting this cab to match the other one, and then I'll do another video after that of mounting the two. That way I can get it out quicker, and well, maybe, hopefully, if the weather participates. I haven't been able to upload much this week because of the rain, but we're supposed to be getting some fiber optic internet in here pretty quick. I don't know how long it's going to take. They've run the tubes for it, and they've run the cables or the fiber through it, except for going up to the houses. They'll do that next, and I want to make sure I get on the list because I can't deal with this. It usually fails in the last between 90% and 100%. So that's where it fails, and it's taken 2 and 3 hours to upload up to 90%, and then it fails, and then by then it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Kids are getting out of school. They're using the internet more, so that makes it even worse. But anyway, thanks for watching. I did say thanks for watching on the end of the first part, so you'll hear this the second time. That's good. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave a tip, comments, whatever, or comments. Leave a tips, ideas, anything. I'll pretty much take all the hints I can get because, like I said, I'm still new at this. So thanks a lot for watching, and have a good day.